What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to Monday Night Madness. Now that the draft is over, free agency is here. Breaking news, the Raiders have just signed wide receiver Michael Gallup from the Dallas Cowboys. He takes the 87th roster spots. There are only 90 slots available, so there are 3 slots remaining.
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in L.A. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey is the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and then starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on the victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
Welcome to Monday Night Madness, everybody. I'm Spicy Raider Girl here with my co-host Scotty, Watty, Raider 1. What's good,
up?
Scotty?
What's up? Going on? What's going on? The draft is behind us, and we're ready to move forward. Happy Monday. Let's go. Let's get into Monday Night Madness.
That's right. Remember, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, and join to become a member. And most importantly, Monday Night Madness, this show is for you. We want to hear what you have to all of the hot takes, including the draft and free agency that we are now in now. So if you see that link that's up there pinned to the top, just click on that StreamYard link and you will be entered backstage to appear on camera with us. If you're playing along with us tonight and you're of age, the drinking game alert is free agent. Every time we say it, choose your poison. Twick, 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 twick. I'm on the moon. What's good, Scotty Watty?
Hey, everything's good. You know, we got this draft behind us. The wait is over. We already know what it is. There's nothing to cry about anymore. This is what we got. So, we have free agency coming up. Look like we just picked, like you said at the top of the show, picked up Michael Gallup, wide receiver. And we got some spots left over.
Yeah, we have some spots to fill. So we'll see what the Raiders do. Obviously, they can release people as well. So the 3 could, it could increase. But as of right now, there are 3 slots available. They got a steal with him, I think, $3 million for 1 year. That brings the Raiders to about $39 million in cap space. Now, remember, they have 18.6 right now. They just spent the 3, so they're around 15.6. And I don't know I can't remember the exact date, but come June something or other, they're going to get $24 million back for the Jimmy G contract. So that's going to be in and around $39 or so that the Raiders have to spend. Let's say what's up to the chat. What's good, everybody? Let's start off the show. This is awesome. Thanks, Space Beast, for supporting the channel here with this super chat. Okay, Spicy, how are we feeling about Weapon X? We are going to get into all of that. And please join us in here. I think I'll just really quickly touch on it. I think the Raiders have a lot of weapons to choose from here. Obviously, I think that to me, it makes it obvious they're sticking with the quarterbacks that they have on roster because they are picking up so many weapons. That's kind of what I got from it. And just hit on the draft just a little bit. Now that I see saw their overall plan, I like it. I'm gonna say, you know what, for their plan, they nailed it. They hit it out of the park. We as fans on the outside, we couldn't see that plan, until it completely unfolded. And I think we got the best player available, and in the end, we were able to feed the need. So kudos to Tom Telesco and his first draft as a Raider.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to continue on? We got a couple of others in the chat there. I don't know if you want to.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, we already have somebody knocking on the door. So I want to bring in a special guest that we have tonight that's joining us all the way from, I believe, Australia, where it's 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
So welcome to the show. What's good, my friend? Thanks for joining us.
How are you? Spicy? Raider One.
How you doing?
How are you? Everyone in the chat, salute.
Salute. Yeah, did you say Australia?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow.
We're in the future. It's 9 a.m. Tuesday.
Nice. Nice.
There you go. He's playing his drinking game with us with his rock star in hand. Raider Ryan, salute to you too. Cheers. April's in the building. She says, hi, Spicy. Hi, Scotty. I know she's probably going to call in. She always has a lot to say. She's a fun caller. Raider Nation for life. You know that's right. Omar in the building. What's up, y'all?
Omar.
Raider Ryan. Whoever wins the starting quarterback position is going to have a lot of weapons to work with. Some dogs in the draft. We are going to get into that. And just as a little teaser right now, because there's been a little bit of a rumor, who will QB1 be? AOC, Guard Dog, or the rumor has it, maybe there's a Tannehill signing in the balance. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Ana Diaz, thanks for being here. Salute to you, and thank you for being a member. Addie girl, you better get off Facebook and come over here to YouTube and join us. You in the wrong building, but thanks for watching. He says, salute Australia. What's good? So we'll let you touch on it really quickly because you are our guest. How did you feel about this draft, and what do you think is going to happen moving forward in free agency?
I got to be honest. Like I was probably just like most of you guys when they announced the pick of Bowers. I was pretty shocked, being that I did little to no research on the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was an area that they would plan to attack in the first round. Being for, I mean, unless you've only just joined the Raider Nation, we drafted someone we traded up for in the second round last year, in Michael Mayer. So I didn't think that was high on our agenda, so to say. But you know, they took Brock Bowers, and upon further review, I guess it's just ignorance from. I'm guilty, and I'm sure some of you guys might be, and a lot of people were. Like, they hadn't done their homework on this guy, but this guy is a stud. I've heard a lot of big things about him. I've done my own, research, watching the tape, and I really like what I see. And I said it when I reacted to the pick live. Like, there has to be a reason why they forego need and went for tight end, a position most of us think we wouldn't address in the first round. So it seems to be warranted by the word on the street, from looking at the stats and from hearing, from especially the Georgia faithful. I've heard a lot of good things about this guy, and this guy is apparently the best tight end prospect for a little while. So yeah, I wasn't loving it straight off the bat, but I've come around to it. I'm loving it.
What did you think about the whole after the first round? Because we were left kind of hanging in the balance, because it was only the first round, the first day. What did you think overall of all the draft picks after it was all said and done?
I really like it. I got to be honest. I feel really good about it. I haven't felt as good about a draft class probably since 2014.
Wow.
I think, yeah, right. And look how that panned out. I mean, it's all got to shake out. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel good about it at the start. I mean, we all feel good about most of the draft classes of recent history, and well, look how that turned out. But
right,
I don't know, man. I really like what they did. I like the center that we drafted in what is it? Jackson Powers Johnson. Wow, what a powerful name. I like that guy. I think he has a good chance to start immediately. I like that linebacker. Was it Tommy Eichenberg?
Yes.
I think he can compete and contribute immediately. He's giving me Robert Spillane vibes from what I've seen, and even how he looks. You just got to chuck a do-rag on his head. You know what I mean?
Deep eye black hair.
Right. I watched quite a bit of tape last night on that DeCamarion Richardson, and yeah, like the stats say he didn't get any interceptions, but that guy is a tackle machine. Like I like the way he hustles to the point of attack. I watched specifically his highlights from the LSU game, where there's a YouTube video which shows every snap that he played, and he didn't get like the game was a blowout, but he didn't get beat only one time, and that was not for lack of trying to make a play. Like he tried to disrupt the ball. It was just a great catch, but every time like there was a guy running in open space, he'd always try, or at least, you know, he'd be the first one there trying to make the tackle. He even put a big hit on Jaden Daniels, which I really like to see. And to me, he's like the opposite of what we got from Marcus Peters, where Marcus Peters a turnstile. This guy is going to be excited to lay the wood on somebody. So I've come around to that pick too. Yeah, I feel really good. I don't want to take too much of the floor, so I'll leave it to you guys.
We want you to stay with us, of course, but we're going to bring Transplant into the building. What's good, Transplant? Thanks for joining us before you have to run off to your meeting.
Hey, guys. Hey, Alpacasi, Spicy.
All right.
What's good? We're great.
Thanks, Spicy. As you know, I'm going to a transplant meeting at 6:30, so just wanted to come in. I'm glad I saw Alpacasi because he's great. He's got a lot of awesome takes. Absolutely love hearing from him from the other side of the world. Spicy, thanks for letting me on with Omar last week, because as you know, I was a little upset. Then Omar kind of talked me down from the ledge, right? And then as the night went on, Alpacasi was with me. We did like a 4-hour conversation with Stu about it and kind of broke it down. So it's one of these things where, just like he's saying, like if we all take a step back, was it that bad of a pick? Not really, because obviously, you know, Brock Bowers is Brock Bowers. I think where I'm still at on it is that I was a little I kind of understand why we took Delmar Glaze, because if you watched how the draft was happening, they were running out of the tackles. So he was kind of like, Delmar Glaze was the best available left-right tackle at the point that they took him. I still would have rather have us used it on someone else, but I kind of understand what they were running up against. I don't know how good that guy is going to be. I'm not sure how good our O-line is going to be yet, but just like Alfakasi says in Telesco and AP, we have to trust, right? So let's just trust that process. But I kind of want to hear from you, Spicy and Scotty, now that it's been over. Are you guys that excited about Telesco?
Yeah, I am. And I said at the top of the show, you know, the thing is what we do here, we do it live. So, you know, you really get our live reaction, right? We didn't have time to digest it and to research somebody like a tight end that we probably didn't put a lot of research investment into, because we didn't think that it was the direction the Raiders were going to go. Nothing against this player, you know, nothing against this man. You know, he is a beast. He plays in one of the top conferences in college football. And, you know, he kicks ass there. I think he's going to kick ass for the Raiders. Again, I think it just took us all off. It took us by surprise. But when I saw how the rest of the draft unfolded, to me, they had that clear plan. Obviously, outsiders looking in, we don't know that plan, right? We've never seen their board. Telesco was very kind of tongue in cheek, very, very political. I'll say in the press conferences, he didn't let a lot out, which he shouldn't. That's to be expected. But to see it all play out, I think, okay, they had a plan. They executed their plan. And for Tom Telesco, first time drafting as a Raider, I thought he did a good job.
Okay. All right. Cool. No, I'm happy you mentioned the later drafts too. And I just want to say this for all the Raider Nation people who's listening to this. I'm always very particular when I see a player get picked up by the Raiders to see what their instant reaction is. And I'm not hating on Bowers or Glaze, but I didn't get that feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a Raider. But everyone else, Jackson Powers Johnson to Dylan Lobby to Trey Taylor, MJ Devonshire, like you could see their raw emotions of, oh my God, I'm going to be a part of Raider Nation. And that excites me. So you're absolutely right, Spicy, about Telesco, I think, did make those really good later picks. I don't know, man. Was it just me, Scotty, or was Brock Bowers' dad seem like he's such a Niner fan that he hated that his son got picked by the Raiders?
You know, I don't know if it was that he was such a Niners fan, more as the truth is he was a top 10 pick in the draft, and we weren't in the top 10. So was it that he's a Niner fan and he went to the Raiders?
So that was a look of relief.
Well, I think no. I think it was a look of. I think it was a surprise. Because at the end of the day, I don't think it. I didn't really take it as negative. I know there's a bunch of memes out there.
Oh, it's more fun if we make fun of him for being a 49ers fan.
Well, yeah. At the end of the day, I think that if my son got drafted by the Niners, you know what? I'd be happy as hell. My son's in the NFL. I mean, come on,
Right.
You know, that's But I didn't take that so much as a negative, so much as I don't know. We don't even know the guy. We don't know what kind of how he reacts and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But what you said,
it's heat of the moment stuff, right? I
yeah,
mean,
and it's
right,
also
you
heat
know,
of the moment.
everybody
Right.
processes stuff on the fly
Right.
differently. So
Right. Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to throw shade on
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
that's just by the way they reacted in the moment. Like,
Yeah, I mean, look at all of our reactions. When people can take that and run that back, and you know, we could be stuck on that. Like I said, you know, we're alive, including these families. So many emotions to go through. I do see the humor in them poking fun at the 49er family a little bit, though.
Of course. Of
Hey,
course. there's humor.
shout out before I go, Spicy. Shout out to Chris, Protect the Shield podcast. I see him on the chat. He's saying he's
What's
been
good, Chris?
on Jackson Powers Johnson for a few months. Now, Chris, that is true, but let's not forget who's the guy that turned you into a Jackson Powers Johnson fan during the Trenches episode. So just want to throw it out there, man. I give you all the credit that you did get on the Jackson Powers Johnson bandwagon. That's true, but it's not like somebody didn't introduce you to him. So I'm
He
just
wants,
saying,
he wants
Spicy.
credit for that.
give yourself a self pat on the back. though.
No, I
Thank
think you
you,
just did.
Alfonso.
I think you just did.
But no, Spicy, you're doing a great job on Mondays. Absolutely love the content that you and Scotty are doing. Please keep doing it. I think it's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I think it's a perfect time, and keep doing your thing. All the positive energy. I absolutely love all the positive thoughts and prayers for transplant. And again, guys, want to get on. We have 2 days left. April is Donate Life Month. You saw during the draft that the commissioner put it out there, the story between the dad and the son who gave his kidney to his son in order for his son to live. So please consider organ donation if you haven't. I'm alive today after being told I only had 30 days to live because of the power of organ donation. So please, again, consider it. And Spicy, thank you very much for continuing to also push the initiative. I appreciate you.
All right, we appreciate you. We're happy that you're healthy. Thanks for joining us.
See you, man.
Bye.
Thank you, man.
And
Oh,
you know,
great to hear from him.
he kind of said a few things. I didn't want to keep him because I know he had an appointment. You know, if it's a good time right now, I want to kind of summarize my little hot take for the week. Now we got Afakasi on here.
Okay.
Let me throw this out there. Moving on from the draft, everybody graded the draft right around a B. You know, there were give and take. You know, some were higher, some were lower. But give and take, it was pretty much an average of probably around a B. But I think there's more to that than just that grade. I think we're grading the players on there, and there's more to that. I want to grade the owner, Mark Davis, for staying out of the way and letting the GM do what the GM does. I want to thank AP for staying out of the way. Now, he had some take in it, of course, but I think this was Telesco's baby. I think that these picks were firmly, you know, his. Of course, there was some input from other places, but I want to thank him. You know, I think that the Raiders organization, we took a step towards getting better. I agree with that. How big the step? We'll see that. Hi, Marty. How big a step? We'll see that. But there are organizations out there, Cleveland Browns, that are shitty organizations. Chicago Bears that are shitty organizations. And if you got a shitty organization, you can take the top player and you're not going to do anything with him. So all that draft capital and all that talk goes into play right there. I think we are taking steps to becoming a better organization. And I think that it's going to start at the top. And I think what Telesco did with this draft, because everybody pretty much agrees across the board that this is the best draft that we've seen in a long time. This was not lateral. This was not backwards. It was at least a step forward. I think everybody has to agree with that, at least the majority. How big a step? That remains to be seen. That's fine. But were we opportunistic in this draft? We were with Brock Bowers. We weren't supposed to get Brock Bowers. We just capitalized. Does a cornerback need to be opportunistic when he jumps the ball? Yes, he does. And does that win games? Yes, it does. Now, we lost 5 games last year by 1 score. Can that maybe help? Sure, that can possibly help. But I think the winner here is the organization. I think we're getting better. I think we're pointed in the direction of what we feel as we were Raiders before. Spicy, you're an Oakland Raider. Me, I'm an LA Raider. We're OGs, we're OGs. We're not Las Vegas Raiders. No offense to the Las Vegas Raiders, but it's different. You can take that however you want to take it. It's a different world. It's a different world than what we used to be. And I like the direction that we're going. Are we there yet? Absolutely not. But I like the fact that our top guys are doing what they got to do, or at least it seems so. They're doing what they got to do, and I think that trickles down. That's my hot take. I like the way the organization is going.
All right, I like it. Would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I think you're dead on with that. I think a lot of this started for me when we kicked McDaniels and Ziegler out the door. And remember one of the first things that they posted was that video with Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Talking about returning to the Raider way.
Yep.
And it seems to be the case. That what a breath of fresh air. Thank Christ he's gone. Never my guy. I hated those guys. The hell with them. But that's the past. Let's talk about the now.
Yeah.
I do really like what they did with the draft. It's very refreshing. Like, I mean, I touched up on it before. Like, a lot of us were caught off guard with the Bowers pick, but like when a lot of us got a chance to marinate on it, it's like, well, they went best player available. You know what I'm saying? And how many years have we talked about going for the best player available, and they go and get the best player available? And there's still a lot of us who, kind of reacted, as you were talking about, Spicy, like, when we live, we go through the emotions, but like when you get a chance to kind of sit on it, it's just like, you know what? It's actually the right call. And it seemed like that they were doing that throughout the draft. Like, I mean, with that Jackson Powers guy, I believe he was the best player available.
Right.
Maybe Tommy Eichenberg as well. Best player available.
And we were still,
I like that for the most part. That was their plan of attack, is taking best player available. I don't like the whole grading a draft class immediately, because I mean, you got to see how it shakes out. You know what I mean? Like, say there's been yesteryears where we've taken guys in later rounds like Nate Hobbs, Max Crosby, and people be like, oh, that's a D grade or a C grade. You know what I mean? Who the hell are those guys? Well, you got to wait and see how these cats turn out. You know what I mean? And there's guys we dropped in the first round where like, oh, they get an A grade, and then that turns out right.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where I was going with that. That's where I was going with that. I said, look, there's more to just drafting, to just grading the players and seeing what players we got, because we don't know yet. It looks good, and they all look on. Whose highlight tape sucks? Everybody's highlight tape.
Everyone's a superstar according to their highlight.
Of course. But like I said, I think the direction and people staying in their lane is what takes the organization as a whole to where we got to go. And we got to start somewhere, and I think that's a good start. We're not there yet, but we got to start.
You're making him blush, but I do. I love it too.
He must be talking about Raider 1, not me. Whatever.
Thank you. No, I would agree with that. I think it's refreshing to see. I think Mark Davis had input. I think AP had input. But I think their input was minimal, and they knew their place. That's what it seems like anyway. Again, we're not in the war room. We don't know. We're not in these meetings. That's what it seems like, because it was very well talked about that not only Josh McDaniels, but John Gruden as well had their hands a little bit too much in the mix.
Yeah.
And I think maybe part of, like, I'll speak for myself. Part of my reaction was maybe a little bit of PTSD when you hear that first pick and you don't know the plan, and you feel like, oh no, this is getting derailed. Because I think the first thing out of my go again.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. I just thought to myself, man, I don't remember this being part of the plan, even though I was a part of the plan. Nobody asked me.
Can I share a story that I heard on
of course.
a previous live just before the draft? This is actually from shout out to Raider Damas. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He writes articles, I believe, for Silver and Black Pride. But they were saying that, like, remember 2010, the year we drafted Rolando McClain in the first round. Okay. Now, he was telling me the story that they recently purchased a book from the scouts that they read, and that year during the draft process in round 1, the scout team that year was the consensus guy that they wanted was Rob Gronkowski.
Mm-hmm.
So the scout team, that's all they said. That they said Rob Gronkowski, no matter what. Al Davis, I believe, was still alive. Probably had the biggest hand in it. Maybe the head coach Tom Cable as well at the time. They ended up selecting need with Rolando McClain, which at the time we did need a middle linebacker. Remember Kirk Morrison, Thomas Howard, they were gone by the end of 2009. So we were starting a fresh linebacker course. So we went drafted for need instead of listening to the scouts and drafting best player available. So we all know how that went. Rolando McClain flamed out. Rob Gronkowski, one of the greatest tight ends ever. Fast forward to the now, and I'm hoping it's giving me the opposite kind of vibes, which is why I brought the story out.
Have we changed? Have we changed?
We changed it up instead of going with, we need this and we need that. We took the best player available, and apparently this guy was the best player available by a landslide. So I'm hoping it all works out and he plays to be how he's touted to be.
Yeah, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing, because I think it is a little eye-opening. And also, we've had the discussion. We had draft shows all week leading up to the draft, and we had that discussion. Best player available versus need, and we had the discussion. Well, what if the best player is a wide receiver or something like that? And I think, as fans anyway, or YouTubers, or however you want to say it, most of all of us, I can remember, all of us said, feed the need.
Yeah.
That we were like, no, we're not on board with drafting the best player available. Again, hey, this is why we're on YouTube and they're in the war room and they make the money. And
well, sometimes you got to. It's nice to have like a bit of a balance. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like say we had like already had our franchise quarterback, and there was a guy who everyone's saying is the next coming of Tom Brady still there on the board. You know what I mean? Like maybe then we wouldn't really be in a position to take that guy. We'd go for need. So sometimes you just got to kind of balance it out with reason. I mean, I think that Bauer's pick is a balance out, like where it might not be a need, but he is just that damn good that we have to take a chance.
Well, and I think that's what it might have panned out to be. He was probably by a landslide the best player on the board at the time. And did somebody say, hey, wait a minute, we can't just let this slide. We got to take this. And there's other opportunities to fill the need. It seems like that's what happened in hindsight. Now that we know everything, it seems like a smart decision.
And let's look ahead a little, or not look ahead, I guess. Let's look back kind of to your point. You never know where you're going to find some of this best talent. So the Raiders actually did feed the need, right? They just did it later. They got a corner, got some offensive linemen, and history has proven that the best players don't always and usually don't come out of the first round. You get some really great players in the later rounds. So to sit here and I'll even say, because I was saying this as well, we didn't get the players we needed until we really saw it play out, and they did. So hopefully these guys in the later rounds, they're going to be productive. And I see a lot of these guys being day one starters.
Mm-hmm. At least the first two. At least the first two should be day one starters.
Anyone else, Spicy or Raider One? Like, do you see as a day one start?
I see Bowers and JPJ being day one starters.
Yep. Let's bring Big Daddy in the building. More. He's here to join the madness. Big Daddy, what's good? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, familia? Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you. Thanks for joining the madness.
I had to
I
be
love the
here,
Reebok
man.
jersey.
You know what? What a draft. A- for me. I don't like to give grades and all that, but this one really excited me. I started off by being shocked that we went with Bowers because all the studying I did to get ready for this draft, the two positions I didn't study were tight end and safety. And then all of a sudden, my son, who's got a high football IQ, yells out, "Papa, we're gonna take Bowers." I go, "You got to be kidding me!" So I would have bet $20 on Fuaga at the time because the Jets were
Yeah.
crazy enough to let him go, and then the Jets didn't bounce on Bowers. We take him. I'm sitting there in shock. Not that I was upset, but I looked at it more as a luxury pick. So what do? They showed me 15 minutes of Bauer's film, and that kind of relaxed me. And here it is Monday. I'm more into that pick because if that young man transitions from what he was in college to now, we got the best offensive weapon in the AFC, man.
Mm.
You
Okay.
know, I'm
Hard to
all
Better than
argue that.
Devontae?
yeah, I'm all over that, and I'm not bashing on Michael Meyer, but I'll tell you what, right now, the pressure is on Meyer to get over his injuries. Two tight end sets. If anybody's going to feel a little bit of pressure, it's Getsy to make sure he incorporates all these weapons. We signed Michael Gallup a little while ago, so now I mean for only $3 million. So to me,
Yep.
I was all over that. JPJ, that second pick, grew up a Raider. His family was excited. Both them guys right there are going to start on opening day. Glaze, we needed to tackle. I know he was projected to go 3, 4, or 5. So to me, this draft was about Tommy T not doing what the previous Reggie, Mike, Mayock, and Ziegler. What do all three of those guys have in common? First time GMs that either reached or went for need. We got a seasoned veteran in Tommy T who said, "No, I'm going to bring my BPA philosophy over there, best player available," and that's what happened. And man, even the second half, Etchenberg, if I'm saying his name right, the linebacker, like a Jack Lambert 2.0 reincarnated. We got some ballers. I wanted Jalen Wright. He was gone. I wanted Jordan Travis. He was gone. That's why I can't go lower than A-, but I'm all over that kid in the 6th round too, Dylan Lobb, who's a poor man's McCaffrey, a real poor man's. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I liked his energy too. He felt like a Raider to me a little bit.
Yeah, he's gonna take some snaps away from
Scotty laughing. He doesn't agree.
Yeah, he's gonna take some snaps away, in my opinion, from the guy we got from Detroit.
Madison?
That we signed. No. They got him from Detroit. We signed him every year to a 1-year contract. His initials are AA.
Abdullah?
Yeah, Abdullah. He's gonna take some snaps away or take a spot away if Abdullah don't make the team. But I'm really excited. It's been since 2014 that Gabe Jackson, Khalil Mack, Carr draft that I've been this excited. And it's about time because I'm tired of these Leatherwood picks. Another thing that made me feel pretty good, I was all over Quinyon Mitchell and Arnold. Mm-hmm. And after we didn't pick them and we went with a surprise pick, them two brothers made it all the way to the 20s.
Yeah.
That made me say, you know what? Our vision versus the Raiders' vision and Talasco's, we just got to trust who's in charge now.
Right. Trust until proven otherwise. But yeah, I agree.
Right.
What do you guys think about what we're doing in the future? Do you think we're going to pick up any free agents? We got a few spots left over. Obviously, some people are going to drop out. But how do we look going into the 2024 season? What do you guys think?
Before you guys answer that, let's bring Rick into the building to join the madness.
What's up, Rick?
Thanks for joining us all the way from Hawaii. I know, right?
I'm in my office, so I just got in. I've been on some scaffolding today, but I'm like, gotta get on this show. What up, Raider Nation?
What's
How y'all
up?
doing?
What's good? Aloha.
I'm feeling aloha kako. I feel pretty good about the draft. I gave it a B plus A. I mean, you can give it A minus. I thought that we did pretty good. I know that when I was Scotty, I got his thing on there. I said, man, I agree with him on the first round, but the players, it's not the players' fault. The team's pick, right? They're picked by team.
Of course.
That's all they want to do is get drafted. So, mad respect for Brock Bowers. No disrespect. I'm happy we got him. He was the best player on the board. But then again, you guys know we talked about this before the draft. I was high on Fuaga and a couple others, but it's the best player on the board. So I think that they had Fuaga on there. They had a couple other things that we know that they wanted to move up, probably didn't get that, and then move down. Then we find out that they never wanted to move up. So I don't know who's telling them what. But anyway,
What do you think? What do you think, Rick, going forward? And I'll ask the whole panel. What do you think going forward? We already know what we got in the draft. We already know what's out there in free agency. Going forward, we lost 5 games, 1.1 score game last year. What do you think? Can we improve, and what can we improve to? Or do you think we're just gonna kind of lateral over? I'll start with you, Afakasi. You've been on here the longest.
So the question was, what are my expectations for the moving forward?
Moving forward, yeah. What do you think we're gonna? What did we improve? What do you think our record could be? What do you think we're gonna do?
And part of that question was you asking what are we doing with like the rest of free agency, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we signed. I don't know if you touched up on it. That Gallup guy from Dallas.
Yeah.
You guys talked.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So he's looks to be the guy who's going to compete or maybe even solidify that slot receiver role. I've heard big things about him from a guy I read a critique. Shout out to him, who's from Dallas. He speaks very high of Gallup, so maybe he might be a sneaky good pickup. And for $3 million for a season, that could prove to be a steal.
Sure.
As for my expectations moving forward, look, this is the first year of the new regime, right? I'm willing to give them time. Like AP was always my guy. I have all the confidence in the world that him, Telesco, and Co will get us to where we need to be. Patrick Graham as well. We just got to give them time. I'm not expecting Super Bowl. I'm probably not even expecting playoffs year one. If we can get there, fantastic, cool, great. But as long as we see there's promise and hope for the future, you know what I mean? Like that's why sometimes the wins and losses don't tell the full story. You know what I mean? Like take you back to 2015. Remember, we won 7 games, we lost 10. But we were a team trending upwards. You know what I mean? Like we could see that the trend was starting to go up, and for a little while it did. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking, is that the team shows that, like, you know what, we have hope for the future. We have players that we can build around young guys, because we have a very young roster. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like that's all I ask, is just show us enough to be faithful that we're gonna be where we want to be in the future. If we can get there sooner, this year, great, fantastic. But
yeah,
that's my expectation. Just trend upwards.
Big Daddy, what do you think?
Can I just give that a round of applause? And I would like to agree with everything he said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Trend forward.
Appreciate it.
My take is this: we're going to win a minimum of 10 to 11 games. We're either going to win the division or be the first or second wild card. Lock that in, okay? What's happening right now? We're not building a bully. We're building 2 bullies, one on offense and one on defense. Okay,
absolutely right.
And as far as adding people, we got an offer out there to Gilmore. We got an offer out there to Xavier Howard. And I'll tell you what, if they want to sign on the contract without getting crazy, and we also got 24 million coming June 1st to get, some more free agents, and some key free agents are going to get, in my opinion, cut in August. And while everybody's at the dollar store, we still got Target and Walmart money to get a starter. Now, the guy that's still out there that's got a big contract that I still want, that I mentioned before, but I went from a 2 to a 4 now. You're saying who? I would offer a 4 that becomes a 3. or Jalen Ramsey to become our shutdown corner. I truly believe we're not going to start the season with Jack Jones and Hobbs and a bunch of kids. We're going to get a veteran presence. I'm not really feeling Patrick Peterson, but he can be a good mentor on the cheapie. But we definitely need, Marcus Peters didn't work out. We learned our lesson. But if we can get a guy on the cheapie that can start, and I haven't given up on Ja'Cory and Bennett, but we need an OG, in my opinion, on the opposite end of Jack Jones.
I particularly care for Xavier Howard, to be quite honest with you. I think you're right. I think it would be a good move to bring in a veteran like that. Show these guys something, their presence. They got to be respected. You're not just going to throw all over these guys. And Xavier Howard and a Stephon Gilmore. I agree. Rick, what do you think?
I agree with everything Big Daddy said. And Avakasi.
Yeah.
Right.
You should get it right. You're Hawaiian. Come on.
I'm just, hey, nice to meet you.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the Raiders 365, 360 days if it's a leap year. Right? So we have a leap year. So it's 366 days this year. We rock the Raider Nation always. Some fans they're good fans to their team, but after the season, they're on to the next. And I'm an LA Laker fan too, so I'm into that. But I'm primarily, most of my energy is the Raiders. Always has been. And I'm all the way out in Hawaii, so it's hard to travel at times because it gets more expensive. But when we can. But just that, knowing that about me and my love for the Raiders, just because I love my team doesn't mean they're going to win. Because, I've been doing this since I was born. I come from a tradition being in Oakland when they were winning Super Bowls, going to games. We couldn't go to every game. Just like some of our Oakland that born and raised in the Bay Area, they know how it is in the late 70s and so forth like that. But I missed that part. But what I love the most is Raider Nation. Raider Nation's gotten bigger. They got the heart. Just take Spicy. I mean, her and Mother Moon are just there. And that's what I know about Raider Nation, true fan. So knowing that, they say, don't bet with your heart, bet with your wallet, because you want to make sure you keep money in your pocket. So I know people that put a lot of money on the Raiders to win everything all the year, and I said, hey man, it's not the year. They might not make the Super Bowl this year. We want to go to another Super Bowl. How do you do that? You build a solid foundation.
Yeah.
How do you build a solid foundation? It's not one or two drafts. And there's that question that Spicy asked last week. He said, we've been dealing with this. We have, but look how many coaches we've had. Look how many things. So all these things what Carr had to deal with. And I'm not defending Carr, non-defending Carr. I'm just saying to learn that many playbooks and go through this. And it's just a rebuild after rebuild. When was the last time we had a great quarterback? They're going to say the best quarterback we've had since we were in the Super Bowl, Rich Gannon, was Carr. And I mean,
him and Jason Campbell.
But statistically, he's there. He set the stats 9 years. So I wasn't Kardashian or anything like that. I'm just saying. So it's saying everything about our team. You got to protect the shield, right?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Rick. Well, thank you so much. Hey, you got that one too. That's awesome.
Yeah, hey, we're right here. See, we're doing this. Okay. Great minds think alike, right? We have them right here. So
I just gotta say,
to answer your question, I like our draft. I've been saying this draft and next draft. So people saying that AP is not going to be around if we go in the dumps. I go, that would be a mistake because this is his only first year. He's interim on someone else's team, so he's bringing some of their guys. We got a new GM, Tom Telesco. He's going to build something, and he's got a lot of experience of bringing in good talent. And you can't say everybody a team's going to bring is going to work. It doesn't work that way. But you bring in talent that you can coach up. That's what these kids come into the pros like Spicy said, all you folks know that some players don't work out in the NFL. They just can't get up to speed. They can't read the playbook. Maybe they're on the wrong team. You got to have right fit, right coach, right organization, dovetail together, and maybe you can be a contender, right? So I see this right now, and if anybody wants to, I don't think how they can disagree with. They're building this foundation. Our defense was getting greater. It's winning the top 10 defense last year, in certain categories, top 6, certain categories. And then now we got Christian Wilkins. We just added another defensive tackle. I mean, and then the cornerback. So we do need, like what Big Daddy was saying, we need a shutdown corner, you know. To me, it doesn't matter whether it's a new kid that's just coming off the college or whatnot, or if it's an OG that comes in and can contribute, right? And Marcus Peters, we thought that he could stay for a couple of years, so I wanted to do maybe it didn't work out. It's just so unfortunate. But
all right, Rick, we can add someone's ringing the hell's bell, so we're gonna add someone to the party here. Raider Squid, welcome to the party. Before you say what's up, before we get into that, I see you other people backstage. We see you all Raider Nation backstage. We're gonna get to you. The madness is here. The party has started, so we are going to get to you. April, I see you, girl, but we're gonna wait for the AOC talk before we let you ring the hell bell. Squid, what's good?
What's going on?
What's up, Squid?
It's been a long time.
No, been busy.
there we go. Represent.
What's going on? So I missed part of it. So Spicy, how do you feel now? Now that the dust has settled, I was talking to Omar yesterday. I don't know if you caught bits and pieces.
I did, and actually,
Omar was getting blasted.
Yeah. And I'm glad you called back today, because I did hear that and I didn't get a chance to respond. And I hope Omar's in here too. And I did say this, but I'll say it again in case we have any new viewers here. You know, being on YouTube, where we get instant reactions, right? We don't have time to process it. We don't have time to go, oh, who's this guy that wasn't on our radar? And furthermore, we don't know Tom Telesco's plan. And I thought after the draft ended, I go, oh, I kind of see what his plan was. You know, he did feed the need in the end, but then he also got the best player available. But I actually don't think I was roasting Omar too much about the pick, because look, the pick itself, that guy's a baller. I think he's going to prove to be a baller. I think I get a little frustrated. I won't touch on it too long because we want to stay positive here. But I think I get a little frustrated when Omar is very optimistic, and I love him for that. But it frustrates me a little when the optimism is a little much, if you will. I think Afakasi said it best here, where he says, you know, he's right around a team that's probably not going to make or is not going to be contenders for the Super Bowl, or maybe even not even make the playoffs. And that's where I am. So I think I was just trying to manage expectations in that aspect. Like, this draft pick isn't necessarily good or bad wasn't the reaction. It was like, let's chill out on the optimism a little bit and be realist, and let's evaluate where this team really is. So that's kind of like, that's where my emotions were coming from.
Well, and I 100% get you. Like I said, I jumped in and out during that live, and it's that raw emotion. For me, watching it, I was at my buddy's house, and when we were on the clock or whatever, I looked at him and I was like, we're taking fucking Brock Bowers. I was looking at who's available, and it was by far, it's just that gut feeling of he's by far the best player of it. Like, it wasn't even close. If you look at the board at where it was.
Squid, are you a big college football fan?
So I followed Georgia a bit because I have a few friends that are Georgia, so I watched.
So you're educated on
on Brock. I knew enough about him. I knew enough. I knew
a lot of us, including myself, we're diehard Raider fans, but we don't so much watch college football, so we were very ignorant to just how good this guy was.
I don't.
Guilty.
I watched a little bit, but I knew about him. His name had already rung up in my when Cardinals were on the clock. I was like, "Fuck, don't take him. I don't want to deal with him again. I don't want to deal with another fucking tight end. We go through this with Kelsey or whatever." So that was my fear of him not going to the Bolts, who needed him. I mean, don't get me wrong, they show up their line, but so that was it. And again, the raw reaction. That's why this is fun because you guys are live. It's
Well,
a like.
I think Spicy said it best at the top of the show. It's because we have PTSD. We weren't expecting to hear the name Brock Bowers. We were expecting a whole bunch of other names. You could take a pick of the other names that we thought, and it's like, wait, who? What? And nobody denied that he's a beast.
Yeah.
Nobody can say that, but we weren't expecting to hear that name. And we're fragile.
Upon further review, we came around to it.
Yeah. 100% get that moment of like, fuck, we do some shit again.
And Spicy was like, we could have got everybody said if he's there. It's like
we all thought it. Yeah.
Remember when Jalen Carter was there? If Jalen Carter's there, you take Jalen Carter. And this is no disrespect to Tyree Wilson. And I was just like, I know he had the off-field issues, but I was really high on Jalen Carter because plug and play. But I'm happy we got Tyree, and I'm happy we got Brock Bowers because people know him from, even if they don't watch college to Posse, is because he played in 2 national championships.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of people watch the NCAA 2A national championships. They might not watch certain teams because I'm a big SEC guy. I love Alabama, it's my team. So I watch these kids, and SEC, as we know, is putting out a lot of pros, whether they work out or not. But Brock Bowers is definitely a utility guy. So that's a positive thing to talk about. Brock Bowers is a utility guy, not just a tight end. He's a good blocker. And when you watch his tape, all you got to do is Google Brock Bowers, Georgia. And you're going to be like, holy moly. But last show we were on, Spicy hit it on the nail. She's like, man, we could have got Fuaga,
And I think we had convinced ourselves at that point, just with doing so many shows and giving our kind of, predictions. I think for me, like that was in my head, like, oh, that's happening now. We saw this guy go, we saw that guy go. Okay, that's the guy. So yeah, I think we, again, live reaction, unexpected.
Hey, let me ask this.
Again?
Who are you thinking about they would have drafted? I mean, Fuaga was one, but there was a couple other names out there. Did you think we'd move up or move down, or I mean?
No. So from the get-go,
I just thought, we talked about it.
I didn't want to move. I was comfortable with staying at 13, picking. To me, my gut said stay at 13, pick the best lineman, whoever they fit. This is where, again, I know what I don't know. Whoever they think is the best lineman available at 13, and then trade back in and try to get Penix. Obviously, that didn't work out because Atlanta said, fuck everybody, Sheffield. So, yeah. But
I also hope that this means that they have confidence in our other young guy that we already have in the door to take the reins and be the right tackle that we've been looking to solidify that role. And that guy to me is Sam Mumford. I have all the confidence where he can take that next step. He's only been trending upwards since he's been in the door. So you know what? The hell with Fuaga. We got our young guy in the door already.
I'm right. I'm not mad at that comment. The hell with him.
No,
Go ahead, Big Daddy.
I had a quick question for the panel. If Penix makes it to 13 and Bowers is there, who do you think Telesco would have took?
From what I've understood, he was looking to get Penix.
I think they would have.
It's my understanding that that's what he was trying to do.
I think Penix may have been the only exemption to the best player available.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like it, because they did extensive research on Penix when I think they made peace with that. The Jaden Daniels, the prospect of getting him is just a bridge too far because one, he was likely to go at least to the Washington Commanders, and two, the asking price was just way too much. I believe they wanted 3 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders, and that's just a bridge way too far. That's franchise crippling. No matter how good of a prospect he was.
Real quick,
I think they made peace with Penix being the next best guy available. If we were to attack the quarterback position, since he was gone, we went best player available.
I just want a very quick take. I was elated that the Donkeys took Bo Nix because I wanted they in my opinion that I didn't want that guy, and to me, I think the Rams, something we had said before, Spicy and Scotty. I think the Rams, Seattle, and the Saints, sneaky Saints, because they're tired of Carr. He's getting booed all the time. They would have went for they would have jumped ahead of us and maybe traded with the Jets to go get Penix. And when Penix got picked, part of me was like, not a lot. On a scale of 1 to 10, a solid 3 or 4, I went, oh man. But I also, once Daniels got picked, I kind of went like this. Oh, we're not going to give up 3 3s, 3 2s, and 3 everything else. So that was cool.
I love Daniels.
Yeah, I love Daniels too. You know, he was
3
obstinate.
3s and 3 2s. That's just
but it was a lot. It was a lot
Yeah.
to give up for.
And then also I'm glad because if you listen to the analysts, they thought we were going to get desperate and go Rattler number 2, Rattler number 3, and Telesco, like Telesco said, you know, after day 1 and 2, he just said, you know what, we don't see a quarterback that we like, and even the guy they brought in undrafted, Gus Bradley's son, Carson Bradley, he's just going to be a camp arm. So to me, I think the guard man is going to bring the best out of AOC, and AOC is going to bring the best out of the guard man. So I'm really looking forward to that QB competition to see who's going to be QB1. And one more question for the panel, since you guys are on a roll. Who do you guys forecast to throw the opening, to start on opening day for our Raiders? Which quarterback?
All right. I actually want to bring in April we'll answer these questions. I want to bring April for the quarterback conversation. Big Daddy and Rick, we're going to let you go. Thank you for joining us because we do have some people backstage. We are going to answer that question. Thanks for joining us.
Big Daddy goes, what jersey is that?
What
jersey is Big Daddy wearing?
Thomas Howard, God rest his soul.
Thomas Howard. Rest in peace. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got some people backstage, and we are going to answer that question. April, what's good? Welcome to the show. And Mark, Raider Mark, After Dark, welcome to the show. We know we got Team AOC in here. So I'll just start it off really quickly, and then I'll pass it off to all of you. I actually don't think that's a question that could be answered at this time, unless you're a diehard AOC fan like we have one here, or if you're down with the little ass boy who wants to be known as Guard Dog. I don't think we can really say who's going to be QB1 because we haven't really seen what Minshew can do as a Raider. I want to see some preseason games. I want to see training camp. I want to see what these guys are doing out there on the field. Begs the question, is it AOC's job to lose, or are these guys walking into training camp fighting for QB1 and it's a clean slate?
You just opened up the can of worms on that one. I'll give my take first and I'll let y'all go.
What's up, Raider Nation? I just want to say what's up to everybody. Thanks for having me back on the show. I personally think it's going to be Gardner Minshew because Minshew Mania, I think he ain't never had something like this for one. So I think he's gonna go balls to the wall, and everyone's gonna like him. I'm not saying they don't like AOC, but I think Gardner Minshew's gonna, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
All right, April, we know who you got, but give us your opinion, even though we kind of know. And Mark, by the way, I like your Raider name, Mark, by the way.
Oh yeah, I had to spruce it up a little bit, put some of my shit on the wall. Right before I got on, I was putting, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Raider, Mark, After Dark. Shush for fucking a second. Okay? Listen. AOC is going to be the starter of the Raiders. Y'all don't give him no freaking fucking credit. Okay? You don't.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Hey, let her talk. Hey, let her talk. Chill out. Let her talk.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Go ahead. Go for it, April.
Anyways, this is typical fucking Raider behavior. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold up. I'm running the 4, but the 4 ain't the car. The 4 is the O'Connell. Okay. Let me tell you something. Scotty, you know, I have been on AOC's radar. So here's the thing. This last season, dude, I don't even know where to go with this because, like, like he didn't even have a fucking full like off season anything. He was thrown into something where Jimmy Glass fucking ass didn't do shit. Okay.
Okay,
And
but do
so
you think
they're like,
April?
oh, okay, well, let's just throw in this
April has clearly been playing our drinking game.
oh, drinking. Wait, okay. So they've thrown in like, okay, fuck, dude, y'all piss me off because I watched Aiden O'Connell and I'm like, bro, I swear to God.
Could I chime in real quick about y'all, what y'all were talking about earlier?
I swear to God. Hey, I swear to God. When Josh McClown or whoever it was that drafted him was like, oh yeah, he looks like Derek Carr. Let's draft him. I swear on Jesus Christ. I'm like, dude, like what the fuck? Okay, sure, let's go. And here's the thing. The draft. Okay. Yeah. I told y'all they were not because just fucking because. And here we are.
Scotty Watty, I think you're right though. If Phoenix was available, they would have went after him.
People telling me, oh well, Gardner Minshew is going to be. Listen, Gardner Minshew is going to be a fucking backup quarterback. Period. I don't care what anybody else says.
All right, so hold on a second here, April. Hold on. All right, so you're AOC. Anybody else on the panel have disagree with AOC being the guy moving forward? How many AOCs do we have in the house?
Got something to say.
What's that?
I said, seems like Mark after dark is jumping out of his seat to try.
Go ahead, shoot
it.
Say
I'm turned up, man. I've been, yeah. Come on, man. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Shoot
Go ahead.
Talk my shit all day. First of all, let's back it up a little bit, man. When we was watching the draft, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't pay attention to a lot of the college players because I don't, obviously we wanted a quarterback. I wanted to get a quarterback. But, I mean, we didn't have nothing available, so we went for the best player. Now, the one person I will say, shout out my father-in-law, Big Luck, Stockton OG, he called it. I don't know how or why, but he called it. He said they're going to get Brock Bowers, and I was shocked. Like, why? But, I mean, obviously, he's going to be obviously an improvement from Michael Mayer, right? But we'll see what happens. But I think, personally, like I said, just to piggyback on what I said earlier, Gardner Minshew mania, bro. Come on, he ain't never had talent like this, bro.
All right, talent
like this.
I'm an AOC. April's an AOC. We got a Gardner Minshew, and Spicy's a neutral for the time being. Afakasi, what do you say? What say you?
Look, I got to be honest. I just want one of these guys to solidify the role and be the guy moving forward because I'm not sold that it's either one of these two yet. However, they're gonna have a chance to. You know what I mean? Like AOC's still young. You can shake your head all you want, April, but this is my opinion. Okay, so just chill out. I just want one of those two to be the guy. If they are the guy, cool. I don't care which one. If it's Minshew or AOC, great.
All right. So we got two neutrals for the moment. Squid, it's on you.
There's no fucking neutral. Come on, man.
There's two neutrals. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Squid, are you still there? Who do you think?
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I was muted.
All good.
One, you're just to touch on your Bauer point. You guys realize that again, we have the number 1 and number 2 tight ends in college football over the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. Michael Myers and Brock Bowers ran fucking college football as far as tight ends. Anyway, back to the AOC4 Minshew talk. To me, what I'm leaning towards AOC4 just because he was a walk-on. That says a lot to walk on to a college program. And that's not easy to do. You're competing with people.
Let him finish. Hold on. Let him finish his thought real quick.
You're competing with people that have scholarships, 4-year scholarships, 5-star athletes coming out of high school. And AOC4 walked on and was able to take a job. That's not easy to do. And Purdue's not I'm not saying they're fucking SEC, but it's not a small school. Like it's D1 college football.
D1.
So for him to come out and do that, and like it says a lot about him. I get it. I talked about it yesterday. He's not a big like rah guy. Cool. I don't care. You don't need to be in your face. And I get it. Devontae's always going to talk good about your quarterback or whatever, but they've talked about like they believe in the kid. So if this is a fucking Hall of Famer talking about Devontae or like an AOC 4, I'm hoping he does start. I'm hoping we don't have to look for a quarterback over. I'm tired of it. I've always been I don't care who's my quarterback. He could be Joe Schmo from the street. If that dude's taking us to the playoffs and winning us fucking fans, I'll get a Joe Schmo jersey. Like I don't. The name doesn't matter to me. In the comments, they were talking about would you take the AOC back or fucking what's his face out of Dallas? No, I'm done with. I don't even like. It was mentioned in the comments. I'm gonna talk like no. I appreciate what he did, but on to the next thing. Like when he comes back and he's retired from football, he's a Raider to me. He came in, he did his thing for a while, but at the end it was gone. I don't want Prescott or whatever his name is from Dallas. I want us to stop talking about quarterbacks, and that to me means AOC 4 came in and did his thing and took the job.
Right on, Squid.
Yeah, somebody take it. And if and you know what? If Minshew takes it, cool. I don't care. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But somebody take it. Somebody go up there, get the job, and take it, and do what you
and
gotta
run
do.
with it for the future,
And
not
run
just
with
for
it.
the moment. I want
And
the
run
guy
with
who's
it.
going to be here for the long
So,
time.
Abukasi, let me ask you this: if Minshew beats out AOC for QB1 this season, do you think he runs with it for the future? Do you think he's a long-term guy?
No.
No.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I gotta be honest.
not.
Like I don't know with
don't
either
care.
of these two.
I don't care if
April, you got to give me a chance.
anybody.
Hey,
Let him answer real quick. We'll circle back. We're trying to. I know this. It is the madness. I know it is. Such is the madness.
Woosah.
Go ahead and finish, Afakasi.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, I asked you if you think if Minshew takes QB1 this season, do you think he's the guy for the future?
Long term.
To Squid's point, like he said, who
If he plays well enough, then yes. But like until then, these are two guys that are still battling it out. Not like for the job. That's going to be their first objective, battling it out for who is the best quarterback to start and open day one as I start. Right. The next thing is to prove to be the guy moving forward for the long term, because you know what I mean. If it's still unproven which one of these guys is the day one starter, then you sure as hell better believe they haven't proven to be the long term answer. You know what I mean? So one step at a time. Whoever wins the job, so be it. And hopefully whoever it is can be the long term answer. That's what I want. Not just the guy who's just here for a minute, like before Derek Carr and after Derek Carr, or after Rich Gannon, we had a long quarterback carousel of guys who are pretty terrible or they were okay for a minute. Guys like Bruce Gradkowski, guys like Jason Campbell, Terrell Pryor, guys who are good for a minute. I don't want good for a minute kind of guys. I want good for a long term kind of guys.
Well, I think we can all agree on that because last year the Raiders had 3 different starting quarterbacks. The year before that, they had 2 different starting quarterbacks. And this year they could go into it potentially having another 2 different starting quarterbacks. That's 7 different starting quarterbacks within 3 seasons. And I think we can all agree that is too many.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I don't understand what Raider fans do not fucking understand. I don't get it, and I'm not gonna get it. And y'all gonna see what you want to see.
Drink to that.
But like Aiden O'Connell literally walked into a situation where he was supposed to be fourth string quarterback, and dude was replacing Jimmy fucking Glass ass. Okay, like dude came into this situation. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, he can't move. Oh, he doesn't do this. Oh, he doesn't. All right, yeah. I absolutely agree with everything.
Well, I don't think anybody's discrediting him though.
Right.
Nobody's discrediting him though, April. They're just saying.
Me. What I'm saying is this draft that we just fucking had, like everyone was like, oh, quarterback. Well, guess what? Yeah, we didn't pick a quarterback. And I'm saying Aiden O'Connell. look, I'm not even gonna waste my fucking time.
April, we hear you. We hear you. But the reason why we didn't pick the quarterback is because there was none.
Wait. Shh.
I think at the end of the day,
this Derek Carr jersey that I have is going to be converted into a Aiden O'Connell jersey. Okay, I'm telling you now, this fool is going to bust heads.
I hope so. I hope one of them do.
You know what?
I hope so too.
The draft, cool. Yeah, it was good. All right. Yeah, sure.
I think what we're saying at the end of the day is, listen, nobody like Scotty Watty Raider Wentz said, no one's discrediting AOC. He did walk into it. This guy literally was not even supposed to touch the field, let alone start half the season. And he did a good job and he stepped up. I think we can all agree on that. But I do think he does have something to prove, because this is what we have to look like if we want to make a Super Bowl and even a playoff push. And this is to be seen. And we don't know this yet. Is he good enough to be the best player in the AFC, which is stacked with great quarterbacks, including probably one of the greatest of all time that plays in our conference? And I don't think that anybody, even literally anybody in the National Football League, can say, yeah, that's the guy, until he proves it. Does he have a chance to prove it? 100%. Is he going to get the chance to fight to keep his position to prove it? 100%, because AP has seen that. We all are just going to be sitting by, watching and waiting to see if that's true. And with that said, I do think there could be other options for guys to come and try to take that spot who could be better.
If y'all think Gardner Minshew is going to be the answer, y'all are fucking crazy.
No, but nobody said that.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I'm going to tell you now.
Nobody said that.
I have to deal with motherfuckers on the internet saying that Gardner Minshew is the answer. No. And let me tell you something else. Fuck Patrick Mahomes. Okay, whatever the fuck he is. Fuck him. Okay. First of all, please. The Raiders. Okay. Fuck, man.
Go ahead, Mark After Dark. Go ahead, man.
We're gonna go into whatever it is.
Okay,
and
so,
you know what?
my question to y'all is,
say, oh my god.
Well, hey, so my question to y'all is, since we did get a tight end.
Talking about. If not, it's cool. It's good.
Look, so we did get a tight end. So I'm gonna ask you. So do you think that Getsy?
Is this the madness we were looking for, Scotty?
I think this is the madness we were looking for.
Because he's not so sure. He was like, "Why am I here?" Let me say this. Let's really time out for a second, though. Let us moderate. We do want to respect everyone's opinion on this show.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're here. Nobody's right. We don't. Again, to my point at the top of this, nobody knows what any of these players are going to do, because nobody stepped on the field. So let's respect everyone's opinion here. Mark, go ahead. Finish your thought, please.
Okay, so to finish my thought, man, my question is, what do y'all think about Lou Getsy? We got a tight end, so we're probably going to change the scheme and put 2 tight ends in there. And I want to see, obviously, he can block too. He's a big dude. Obviously, we're looking forward to that. We still need a right guard, right? Or are we going to depend on Thayer Munford? Or who knows?
I have an opinion on that.
Okay, well, go ahead. Let's hear it.
I have an opinion. Yeah, sure. I think that having that second tight end in Brock Bowers opened up a 12 personnel scheme. It opened up a 22 personnel scheme. That opened the playbook wide open for different plays that we can run, and I think it's great. We actually have 3 tight ends. We're just not paying attention to Harrison Bryant that we picked up from Cleveland, because we're focusing more on the 2 youngsters. But the fact that we got a tight end like Brock Bowers that you have to pay attention to, I think it opens up our playbook a whole lot, and I like it. To answer your question. Go ahead,
on paper. Thank you. On paper, it seems to be the move. I mean, considering we've invested in 2 very young, very talented tight ends. Whether we actually put that into practice come game time, or whether it's just Bauer's just the best guy available and we're going to relegate Michael Mayer is yet to be seen. I mean, like, I have a little bit of optimism, even though it seems like it would be the right move, being that, like, how many times did we hear this song and dance about a dual tight end sets with the last regime who came from the Patriots, who that's what they were utilizing them. When last year, like 2 years ago, we had one of the better tight end tandems in the league with Waller at his best and with Foster Moreau, a very capable guy who we believe could be a starter. You know what I mean? And we never saw that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm just going to stay and wait and see. But it would seem to be on paper to be the right move. And I don't know. I haven't really watched too much of Luke Getsy's film. You know what I mean? Like I watched when the Bears beat us with who the hell is that guy? What's his name? Badgett as their starter. You know what I mean? Last year, God, one of my least favorite Raider memories ever. But anyways, back to what you were saying about the right guard spot. I think that guy Jackson Powers Johnson is going to solidify that job because it seemed like maybe they were drafting his replacement, but they came out in the press conference, I believe, and said that they called Andre James immediately and said the job is yours. And I guess until proven otherwise, right? But on paper, it seems it would make the most sense to have this guy, a very talented, very capable center or interior, to slide in at right. Have Dylan Parham at left or vice versa, whatever it may be. And like I said, I believe Thayer Mumford should be the keyed in to be the guy at right tackle. Because, I mean, this is a guy who's been in the league 2 years already. This is his third year. He's only been getting better every year. You know what I mean? And for a guy who's been a seventh rounder, for a guy who, you know what I mean? Like usually with the 7th round picks, how many times we draft in the 7th round and these guys don't even make the roster? Yeah. This guy's only getting better. He's showed, to me, when you think about it, he showed more potential in his rookie season and sophomore season than guys we've drafted a hell of a lot higher, like guys like Leatherwood, guys like Parker, guys like, Men League Watson back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's only been getting better. So
now, Alpha Kasi, let me help your Alpha Kasi, let me help your point. Just so you know, I pulled up the stats on JPJ. As you said, you were talking about being versatile. In 2023, he had 829 snaps at center. And in 2022, he had 350 snaps at right guard. So he's been on that right side before, as you were saying about Andre James, and he just got re-signed. So he can be versatile in that guard position, to help out over there too.
And it's just interesting to me that we've been cool. You guys have been live for a little bit, and I don't know if the Michael Gallup signing came up or not, but that's another bringing up a veteran. Again, obviously not Michael Gallup of old, but he's still a solid veteran receiver coming in. You already have Devontae there, but okay, cool. You more veteran presence in the locker room. Someone that you don't see. I haven't heard anything bad about him and not being respected as a NFL player, and that goes a long way with, again, having young tight ends and like help them out. And yeah, I'm with you on from what I've heard from JPJ or whatever. The dude's a freak.
Let me
add high energy, high motor.
Let me add to that. I think personally, bro, I think we got a good problem to have right now because I think AOC is going to get better, and I think Gardner Minshew is going to make him better, or vice versa. They're going to compete, and I personally think.
Hi, Squid. Thanks for joining us.
I personally think it's a good problem to have, and I think whatever it is, there's so many options on our offense. We're gonna go up. I think to not just being optimal, but being practical. I think we're gonna do good, man. Playoffs is not a stretch to me. I don't think it's a stretch.
Playoffs? We talking playoffs?
Playoffs. With our defense, I think our defense is gonna get way better, man. And I know I'm a hopeless romantic when it comes to the Raiders. I'm always crazy, and I'm going back and forth. But
hold on. Let me. Mark, thank you for joining us. April, thank you for joining us. You can respond to that. We're gonna wrap these guys because we're coming up on time here. But Scotty, I'll let you respond to that.
Love. Take care.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you both for joining us. Join us next week.
Right.
Go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead, or you can respond to that.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, saying playoffs. I don't think that's a huge stretch. I mean, we've gotten better on the defensive side. We've gotten better on the offensive side. We've added some weapons that we didn't have last year. That's not that much of a stretch. Am I saying we're Super Bowl bound? No, I'm not saying that either. But I don't think it's crazy. We've beaten Denver 8 times in a row. That trend should continue. San Diego, we usually split the series with them, for a while now. Hopefully we could beat them 2 times in a row.
I think they improved, though. I will say that. I think they improved.
They did improve. They did. Absolutely. In the draft, they did better. And we split last year with Kansas City. So that says a little bit also. That doesn't mean we're gonna kill the division, but I think that we're improving in our division some, and that gets you into the playoffs if you can win your division or if you can get up there. This is a tough division, man. This ain't chump change. This is one of the toughest divisions to play in, and we're trying to piece it together. So I
think it did. It's interesting. I think there's a shift in the division, though. I think it was probably the toughest last season. This year for me, and maybe I'll be proven to be wrong, but I've completely written off Denver, and I think LA got better. So I think it's changed a little bit. I really think. But for me, with that said, it still kind of puts the Raiders kind of fighting for that second place spot, which I also thought they were last year. That's kind of where I am. Better, sure. But to really make a push for the playoffs, that they need to win 10. I think they needed to win 10 games minimum. So they're going to have to improve by at least 2 games. But really to get there, I think they're going to have to improve by 3 games.
I think if we do make the playoffs, how far we progress year one, to me, lives and dies by how productive our quarterback situation is going to be. Because I think our defense may be good enough to get us there. We have weapons on the offense, but when it comes playoff time, if we get there, I think, like I said, it's going to live and die by whether AOC can take that jump or whether Minshew is the guy and can be not just a game managing guy, a guy who's good enough just for the now, a guy who's a good starter and a guy who can be here for longer than just a minute.
And Alpha Casio, on your point, let me ask you this, because this is the way that I saw it. I saw that Jaden Daniels was plan A. Obviously, that went right out the door, right at the jump.
Mm-hmm.
So plan B, I don't think we got to plan B. I think we went to plan C when Bowers fell into our lap. So do you feel, because I kind of feel like since Jaden Daniels didn't work, we kind of try to get some pieces to work around this quarterback situation since we know we don't have that guy, yet. That's the way I felt about it.
Yeah,
do you agree with that?
I agree. I mean, they drafted best player available. We already touched up on that. They drafted an interior guy. We just touched up on that. A guy who should be I agree, a day one starter. It's not outside the realm of possibility. The tackle, I personally believe is a depth guy for now. Like slide into what Mumford's been for the last couple of years. A young rotational guy who can play left or can play right. I think that's
about DeGlaze or DJ Glaze.
Delmar, is it Delmar Glaze? That's his name.
Delmar Glaze. Yeah.
I believe Delmar Glaze is going to slide into that role because, like I highlighted, I think the ideal scenario is Thayer Mumford, a young guy, can play that job and earn that job and play well at that job at right tackle. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I think I agree. I think plan A was get Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
but that plan went out the window when it was just a bridge way too far. You know what I mean? And I don't think Washington wanted to move. I believe that.
I don't think they did either.
I think that plan went out the window weeks before, and they knew that.
If we were in that position at number 2, being that we all want Jaden Daniels, we're in the right spot to take him, and another team who's at 13 came to us and say, well, we want him too. We're going to be charging the house because we want that guy too, right? And unless we're going to get the house and then some, no way.
By the way, I was ready to bet the farm off of Cossi. I was ready to give him everything. I had my mom's bags packed. She was going to go in the deal too. Everybody was going to go. Right. I wanted Jaden.
But there has to be a ceiling for how much they're willing to give, and I believe that ceiling exceeded the asking price exceeded that ceiling. For me, I believe the ceiling was 3 first rounders and no more. Like that would have been my reluctant. That's my final. Asking, that's my final price.
I don't think they were willing to play. To be honest with you, I don't think we could have offered them enough. To be honest with you, I think they wanted.
Right, I think it was going to cost more. A bridge too far, and I think, like I said, they made peace with that by they were doing extensive research on these other guys like Michael Penix, like Bo Nix, they visited Jordan Travis, Milton, all these other guys, and like the first round prospects were all gone by the time we had selected. I think Bo Nix was the last one to go. So the rest of these guys, I think they looked at and be like, well, if we selected those guys at the positions we were drafting, we would just be settling rather than taking a guy we feel like is the best player available at a different spot. So, you know what I mean? I'm all for not taking these other guys that they would have settled for, and rather go for a guy, the prospects that they believe were best player available at those positions where they drafted.
Yeah, and I think Jack Henna makes a good point here. He says if the Raiders make the playoffs, the Raiders are a much better team, player-wise, AP leadership role, mental-wise, training-wise, and Max Wilkerson, Adams, Spillane are all leaders, and I think that's a good point, Jack. That we certainly haven't touched on in any of our shows because we've been focusing on so much on the draft. But with people kind of moving aside, there are these roles, these leadership roles that are filled. We talked about a little bit about Devontae Adams coming in right away, not wanting to maybe step on some toes and being too vocal because of Derek Carr being there and that type of situation. And then once he left, I thought that kind of gave Tay the mindset, hey, I could be the leader of this team. We know Max has always kind of been the leader, but you see a difference, or is it just me? You see that there's more outspokenness, there's more confidence. Maybe he's always had it in him, but it's definitely coming out in the pressers, on the microphone, the way he's speaking freely, those types of things. We saw Spillane do it last year in some of the games, especially the one, I think, against the Patriots. So we know AP is very outspoken and the players have taken to him. And this whole type of mentality here that Jack Henna has brought up is something that we haven't seen, I don't think, in recent years. There's been a lot of tiptoeing around, walking on eggshells, who's running the team, coaches trying to do the GM role and just all this sort of not being in sync. And so I think this is happening, and to me, that definitely could make the difference in a game or two if you have this sort of mentality, locker room camaraderie, that sort of thing. So thank you for.
Yeah, Mother Moon said something similar that I was going to say. I think it's AP. I think it's AP is saying, "Hey, guys, step up. If you're that guy, step up." And some people aren't that way. Some people aren't. Out there outspoken. Some people are just quiet. You can't do anything about that. That's who they are. But I think it's great that we do have some people that are really stepping up and saying something.
I just like that AP at least gives the players a chance to be themselves, a chance to express themselves, and play. I mean, if they're allowed to be who they are, then maybe that can lead to a better product on the field. You know what I mean? Like with that last regime, it's just like, it seemed like, to your point, everyone was walking on eggshells. No one could breathe. No one could just, you know what I mean? Like, and it was very damning to me that the day we fired our head coach, they're literally showing videos like of the players dancing, smiling, laughing in the locker room. I mean, tell me when a head coach has ever been fired and you got the players like dancing, smiling. It's usually like a somber mood. You know what I mean? Like that for me told me everything you need to know.
And that was in line with my hot take. I think the organization has to change the way that it does what it does, so that trickles down. That's what I think is happening here, and that's what I hope continues to happen.
Yes, thank you. We're going to wrap here. We have 2 minutes left, so I just want to thank you for circling that back with your hot take. Fakasi, thank you for being our co-host here on only our season 1, episode 3. I know the madness has just begun, so thank you for kind of sticking with there and managing all of this. We love everyone that joined the madness today. Mother Moon, do you remember who everybody was?
Oh, I don't.
All right, let's shout out by memory here. April, thank you for joining us. Big Daddy, Mark After Dark, Raider Squid. Who else did we have? Transplant, of course, at the top of the show. If I'm forgetting anybody, my apologies. But we want to thank you for joining the madness. Thank you for your comments.
Rick,
thank you for all of your likes. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Space Beast, thank you for your super chat donation. And of course, again, thank you for joining us all the way from Australia, Afakasi, as our co-host for tonight's show. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. And I was just sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Shout out to Rick. I think he was the other guy who joined our panel.
Thank you. My bad. And I don't want to forget Rick. Rick, we do love you so much. So my bad. I knew I was forgetting somebody. So thank you for that.
Hey, before you go, how cool is it? We had Australia, Hawaii, Texas, California. We were all over the world
We're
today.
all
That's
over
what's
the
up.
place.
That's what's up.
Definitely, definitely. All right, guys. Well, you know how we do it here. We go out one way, Raider Nation, and only one way. Raiders!
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in LA. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey's the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and then starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on the victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.